You know, actually, when we met, it was very. I mean, these are all my students, and I know everybody. So there's a certain amount I can talk about. When I remember when we met, she saw a sign on my place, and she walked by. Suddenly she saw a sign, and she'd never seen it before, and she just knocked on the door to come see about the School of Astrology. She walked in suddenly, and and it was kind of shocking. And I just said, okay. I don't normally get any walk-bys or anything. I said, walk by. I said, hello, how are you? What's happening? She was curious. But when she saw the astrology, she just opened up and was so interested in astrology and so interested in all the things I was doing. She became a friend. She became interested. She became a student. And it was always a special pocket of interest that she shared, that she loved. But we shared that, but it wasn't necessarily something shared within the family. So she had her personal world. But for the astrology, she had the idealism and ability to follow it in really mystical, wonderful ways. She really idealized it. But even in that idealism, the Neptune brings the idealism a little stronger than the shocks, the nervousness of Uranus. So the insecurity of it, she sees it all clearly, but at the same time, she's so sensitive, she wouldn't want to be rejected for it, to be made insecure about it. So it's a funny puzzle, but still, it's not, Mercury is not, the big aspects are the Pluto to the moon and the Saturn to the moon. Uranus just implies a restlessness, a changeableness. But the conjunction is an almost exact conjunction of Neptune to Mercury. So it's very profound influence. It's a very, she's a mystical thing. She's a visionary. She's got to have a vision of where things go. She's got to see where things are going. And she's got to share her ideas. So when we're thinking of her chart, the setting side and the darkness and gray, trying to belong, but the reacting setting side, boy, imagine the difference. She meets someone with similar ideals to talk about. That's such a positive enforcement for her. That's a huge thing. At the same time, there wouldn't always be people around her necessarily believing it, but it's her personal interest that was there. And if someone shared her and liked her ideas, and if she could talk to someone listened to her, wow, this would blossom so much. Okay, so this sharing ideas and idealizing and being able to, so that's going to be a signature of how she relates to people. She's got to communicate. She's got to talk. She's got to be sharing ideas, talking about things. That's a big part of her nature, of her setting side of this Mercury Neptune. Okay, and they are both conjunct and descendant as well. So it's how one's responding, reacting. When something's conjunct one of the angles, it's considered, the technical term is accidentally dignified. It's brought up to be a bit more of a focus or a bit more important because it's on the angle. So in this case, that Mercury, Neptune, and the Venus on the angle are accidentally dignified. They're highlighted. If the ascendant was Taurus and the moon was there, the moon would have been more accidentally dignified, and the Saturn. So the good thing it's not that. Here, it's to the. So we saw the need to communicate, okay, and to share ideas, so important. Now, when we look at the Venus is in Libra also, but it's in the 6th house, conjunct the descendant. So she's going to respond. The descendant is how you respond to other people. She's taking impressions in. She wants to be heard. She wants to be listened. She wants to share. And the Venus there really is personally going to want to be appreciated and would work for it. But the minute if it was good, she'd work really hard for it. If it wasn't good, she'd be very hard on herself about it because it's in the 6th house. So it could make her sick. She's having to make adjustments. Now, the Venus is out of orb of the Neptune Mercury. So the mind works on its own. The Venus its own in Libra in the 6th house. There's a need to work or be appreciated. Now, there's a sensitivity to health with Venus there, but I would put it more as the need to be of service, to make money through service, to be able to have work or business or skills where you can be appreciated, to have things why people would like you, why you're appreciated. Okay, so this need to be appreciated, to share, even to exchange. The dream. I have to say, one of the few things I can tell you about her, she's a really good business person. And she's very high profile in real estate. So being able to have the real estate that take care of things, the moon and Taurus, and be able to show it and present it, be hard to resist her showing a nice property or a nice place. But she's capable of a lot of things that need to be appreciated, to be paid well, to have something nice to do, to have skills, be able to take care of finances, be able to take care of things, to meet. To present the dream, to share the dream, the Neptune, Mercury above the horizon, and then to be able to take care of the finances behind it. That's the secret of real estate, of being able to real estate. You present the dream and you help people get the financing. Venus in the 6th. But the need to be appreciated for her ideas. If somebody likes her ideas, wow, that's huge. There's no afflictions. There's no bad aspects to her Venus. This is beautifully placed. I mean, a few minutes and a half an hour earlier, it would have been on the descendant. You might say a bit more in relationship house, but here it's the ability to be helpful and to be liked for being helpful and appreciated for being helpful and wanting to do things to help people. But if her learning astrology and being able to talk about other things than just the family and be able to talk about mystical and idealistic things and what's happening, that creates a mysticism in her that when she meets people who like her for that, it's going to be deeply appreciated. Because she's going to really blossom in that. The challenge is to get enough support. If she was supported by a partner, no problem. But if the partner wasn't supportive, it would be much more difficult for her to trust that. But this is a strong part of her nature. This Venus, and her sun is in the Libra too, in the 6th house of having to be helpful and working. No bad aspects to her sun or to her Venus. And the sun and Venus are 9 degrees apart, so that's within the orb of a conjunction for the sun. I allow 10 degrees. We allow the 10 degrees. So the ability to be charming, to be appreciated, to be helpful. Yeah, look at this beautiful house. This is like, it's going to cost this much though. It's beautiful. You want to get something nice. She's not going to sell grungy places. She's going to want to sell nice places and help people get the financing necessary to do it. And her ability to help and assist people is great. And the more she's appreciated for it or paid for doing it, the better she would become. So having the skills that can make money or that can be appreciated, that's this Sun Venus in Libra and the vision around it. So real estate agents are always trying to sell the dream place, the dream home. Everybody wants more than they can afford. And her ability to manage things, take care of the practicality, and also be able to help people reach their needs or get their financing is a very strong factor here. But this is a part that's untouchable. There's no bad aspects to it. It's her strong suit. So there's a very distinct difference in this chart between the past and the family one came out of, and who she is and what she's capable of doing. So this 6th house is the healer chart, the house of helping, of being of service, and of healing. So she has the healer's chart. When she's negative, it would start if she would have to worry about health, but mostly she would be wanting to care and wanting to help other people and wanting to be appreciated. You need something, I'll do it for you. You need something, I'll help you. So the Aries will rush in to help, but she's really responding to the need to be useful and helpful. And the Mars too. No bad aspects to us. Trying the moon, sextile Saturn. No bad, and it's also in the 6th house. So this is the ability to work to help others. It's in Virgo, so it's a little more practical. Ability to do things that are help. You think in a healing aid, you could be massage, you could be teaching physical exercise. It would be healthy like that. But the ability to work, I've got to work. If something has to be fixed, no one's going to fix it. I'm going to have to fix this myself. Oh, here's a problem. I'm going to have to solve this problem. So the 6th house are like, 10th house is dealing with things. They're like dealing with problems out in the functional world. Here is, I got to fix this. I got to improve this. I got to make this better. I could do this. So even though the Mars isn't conjunct the Sun, all these three, Mars, Venus, Sun, it's really strong. I'm going to make this better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be useful. So if you were going to try and relate to this person, Once you got past the family stuff, she would be really helpful. Really, person would always be helping you and always be having things to make it better, to make things better. All it would take is you having to be appreciative now and then, not to ignore her. Okay. So Mars we dealt with, but they need to be physically helpful, need to be communicating, expressing good ideas and appreciated and liked. It's so strong. When it's there, that would be the glory times. When it's not, those would be the family times. Again, we're starting to see two sides of things, like the rising and the setting parts of the chart. And they would fold over into the bowl, to the knot bowl. Here's what I have to go. Here's what and even on the waning full moon phase, there's a tendency to understand these two sides of things. For Jupiter, we talked on, it's in the 5th house of education, performance, kids, and it's conjunct Pluto. So the understanding, I would like to have kids, I want to have kids, but it's conjunct to Pluto. What's right, what's wrong? So there's battles. Even if she has kids, she did have kids, and she loves her kids. She dotes on her kids, take care of her kids, but not everybody would be, parents would not necessarily agree about how she should bring them up or how they should be. She would have her own ideas of how things would be, what would be nice for them, versus how the family she grew out of. And there would be some battles of living up to what's needed for the kids. She'd probably do everything, and they could take advantage of her for that, or become dependent on her. So the fear of losing control could translate into the fear of being over-controlled if she had to. She might be trying to do too much, and the kids just want to get away. I don't think it's so much, maybe a bit of that, but there's certainly a struggle with her understanding. She gets all the appreciation, but her understanding, how much she gets appreciated for understanding, she's more likely getting. So, hey, I'm into astrology. What? That's the work of the devil, or what? Like, there's going to be confrontation. There's always going to be some people not going along in close quarters with how she's dreaming or how she's thinking, because she's thinking very sensitively and very vastly. So, and very affected by any little comments anyone would make. So the struggle to have what's right, what's wrong, do what's right, to not be blamed. I don't want to be guilty. I don't want to be blamed. But there's right things and wrong things and good and bad things that happen with any kids or any family. So it's bringing up kids not going to be easy. Doesn't mean she's a very capable person, but not easy. Around home, around these, there's always things. She would take care of things, but she wouldn't always get the support or the feedback. She wouldn't always get the reward of it. She probably wouldn't interpret that way, but we're looking at it. Okay, so that's the Jupiter. The Saturn in the 7th house. Okay, we saw all this idealism relationship, but the Saturn, there's difficulties around. That implies a late marriage or a marriage to an older person, or restrictions to the marriage that aren't necessarily supporting her feelings and her basic needs. So that implies there could be someone that's not talking to her, or that's distant from her, or some difficulty with a husband that's affecting. The kids have to be brought up like this. What do they need that for? Just do this, do this, do this. So she can be fighting certain attitudes. So there's some, as a young person, there could be restrictions or difficulty, expectations in marriage that she wouldn't feel. The person would likely possibly be bossy or not supporting her, being more put down. But the move to try and get the idealistic or the beautiful idealistic or the intelligent relationship is really a strong factor here.